Clarity hurts more than confusion. We assume that clarity is relief, and it's not. A lot of times, clarity can be the most gut wrenching thing that you ever experience. Confusion gives us the room to assume and create stories in our head that may not be reality. Clarity kills all of those stories. Clarity puts it right in front of you and feels final. Clarity removes any sort of interpretation that you guys may have had. Confusion is hope with ambiguity, and clarity is truth without escape. About a year ago, I was in a romantic relationship. It was very serious in my mind. I thought I was going to marry this girl. And I genuinely cared about her. It killed me when we broke up. I thought we had problems, but I thought our problems were manageable, that they weren't relationship ending problems. I could sense there was something wrong, and I'd try to fix the situation as much as I could. I never really felt like anything I did was effective at all. I was in this spot in my head where instead of accounting for the issues, I would just kind of sidestep them. It was more important to me to be with her than to lose her over a fight or something like that. And yeah, I was willing to work with it. Truth is, relationships require consent, not effort. Effort is a big part of relationships, but if both of you aren't willing to work it out, there's nothing you can do that's going to change their mind. And once things ended and everything was laid out, it was kind of a release for me, I guess. In this case, clarity was relief, but it was also totally gut wrenching. It felt like, back at square one, which is all right. It's okay to fall back every now and again. Growth is no linear line, but it changed my entire reality. Everything I thought I knew about what this person was going to be or what my future was going to be like was over. All those imagined futures, it was never going to happen. It was like the death of a person that was still alive. I'm never going to be able to interact with this person the same way again. It doesn't even matter if we choose to get back together, because there's this moment in time that I'm always going to reflect on. And like we had core differences, I was not going to mold her into someone that I wanted her to be. I was, I loved her for her faults and what she couldn't do right, and hoped that she would do the same. Clarity arrived quietly. There was no argument left. There was nothing I could say. At that point, it was over. I think what hurt the most was there was nothing to misunderstand. It was all there. Now, the consequence of that, you have the breakup, or, you lose a friend. It doesn't matter, what it is, relationship wise, romantic or not. But a lot of people, especially myself, will rush immediately into healing after that. And it's important to take time and heal. But I feel like there's this awkward middle space that, and it feels different, almost like in limbo. Clarity didn't just reveal the truth. It made me reevaluate my entire life and who I wanted to be, where I was going, if what I was doing was even what I wanted to do. Acceptance makes you stop. Clarity brings you to acceptance. Once I was able to accept my reality, I was then able to start moving forward. And those wounds haven't fully healed yet. I still battle with the feelings and thoughts, the old memories that we used to have together, those fun moments. And it's fun and good to look back at those moments. You shouldn't alienate those moments because something ended badly. You can respect the time that you spent together, even though it ended not in a way that you thought it would. I thought I was gonna find peace after a little while. People ask me, like when I'm out in social situations, they ask, "How do you get over someone? How do you forget them?" That's a question I get asked. How do you forget all the issues and stuff like that, all the things that didn't work out? And I tell them, you don't forget. Yeah, this was one part in your life, and your life continues in a spiral, but you build off this one part. I tell people tell me they say that they wish it never happened, that they never wish they met that person. When I say to them, it was important for you to meet this person so that you could discover things about yourself that you may not have known about. And meeting this person, even though the situation wasn't ideal, it was important for you to understand what it was going to be like. It was important for you to understand how you would be in that situation, what you want in the future, or what you don't want. You know, confusion wasn't the enemy. It was a buffer. It was a safety net. I could live in confusion or as long as I want, or what I thought was as long as I wanted. And it could just be that. I could continue to work on the relationship and try to get out of there, get out of this hole that we dug together. But it takes two of us to lift each other out. I'm not healed from the situation. I'm also not broken from the situation. I'm changed. I'm different. I live differently now. I know in the future, especially in terms of dating, after her and I broke up, I went on a rough path, just started doing things that weren't fulfilling to me. And eventually it got to the point where I was like, it's not what I want. I was meeting people at a time that I was not ready to be in a relationship. And I would jump into relationships before I even found out if this was even someone I wanted to be with. We'd meet and it wouldn't be very long. We'd be like, oh, we have so much in common because we just met. And like, I haven't seen your habits and stuff like that, like who you are as a person, things like, it's important to me to be friends with someone first before we become a relationship now. And beforehand, when I was younger, that wasn't the case. I was just happy that someone saw me, someone cared about me. But there is more to a relationship than that, I found, even in friendships. And now that time has gone on, I know, even with my friendships, like I should reach out more. I'm bad at reaching out. So I should talk to them more, create that relationship that I want to see. And if they don't want to have that relationship, that they won't be in my life. And I stopped trying to appeal to people because I was very much about people liking me when I was growing up. And no, I mean, you're either going to like me or not. And my existence on this planet isn't to please anybody. And I think I'm pretty cool. And so if someone else comes by and thinks I'm worth their time, so be it. But I'm still learning how to live with it. Even now, I think about it. And even sometimes I miss it. But I also understand that it had to end for a reason. And that's okay. I don't hold any animosity, even though, some things that were said were terrible and hurt me. But it is what it is.